Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kelawena, part three of African
Yes,
culture. We
yes,
we finished off talking about mass and avant-garde art. So
yes.
we are joined again by Mr. Arnold Nkala. Uh, we're continuing with art. What are we doing? What are we talking about today, Mr. Nkala? Which part of art?
Oh, okay. Um, we are continuing from where we left. So we left when we were speaking about cubism, right? Which
Yes.
was inspired by artifacts that had been looted in Africa by European colonists.
Yes.
So now we now go to the fifth category,
Yes.
which is I termed it body art. Body art.
Okay.
Yes. So it includes tattooing, which is the application of tattoos, scarring. This is the application of scars, the cutting of earlobes, um, the cutting of the lower lips, um, face painting. Yes, such things. Yes, yes. So I refer to that genre as body art. Yes, yes. So speaking tattoos, speaking of tattoos, so tattoos in Africa are done by scarring, you see, the body. Unlike in some other continents where they apply ink. I
Okay.
think I've seen like the Maori. You remember we once spoke about the Maori when we were speaking of that war cry, eh, the
Yes.
Maori of New Zealand. I think I've seen them with tattoos, but they are made of ink. But in Africa, I haven't come across an African art that uses ink as a tattoo.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yes, I'm not sure. All of them, all the tattoos, they are. It's more like it's a scar. It's more
Okay.
like they
It's
so
correct.
they are drawing a. It's
Okay.
like they are making an sorry. Yes.
Or by scarring.
Yes, by scarring. So they will make an image by scarring. And I know maybe many people, they, especially in Western cultures, they put tattoos for maybe beauty, but in Africa,
For
well, yes, beautiful,
yeah.
but yes, there are many reasons why people they put tattoos or they scar themselves to come up with tattoos. So examples, they include a tribal mark. Sometimes it's a mark from this tribe, you see. It includes, it's a sign, sometimes it's a sign that you are a member of a certain secret society, you see. So it's more like a sign or a password or whatever secret societies communicate, the way they could, they have got their own secretive communication. So sometimes someone may have a certain tattoo, a certain scar. They will know what that it means, you see. Sometimes it's a sign of a certain rank in some African communities. They used class, like they had social stratification. You see, so sometimes they use scarring to know which type of social class you belong to. Yes. So speaking the of tattoos again, do you remember when we were speaking of when we were speaking about Fekane, we said that in Mozambique there are some people who started to develop this culture of scarring themselves because
Yeah.
they didn't want
It's capturing,
to be
being
sold,
captured.
to be captured as slaves. Yes. So some people, they were scarring themselves, or they're putting tattoos in themselves so that they don't become attractive to the slave traders or people who were catching slaves.
Yeah.
Yes. So so a slave with scars and tattoos was a very cheap slave, you see,
Okay.
as far as the auction of slaves was concerned. Yes. So that is how other people were, why they scarred themselves, and in the long run, it became a culture. You see, so some people don't even know how it started in their culture, why they are scarring. Some of them it started as trying to run away from slavery, but today is a different thing. You see, it's now a tribal mark, or maybe for beauty. Yes, and then speaking of cutting the earlobes, right? Um, some people Yes, some people use it to put earrings, but other people they use it as a tribal mark again. For example, the Ndebele people, which is where we come from. So the Ndebele people, so now what happened was, the Ndebele people did not have documents, right? They were not like ancient Egyptians. We said Egyptians, they had a text, right? They were literate, they were
Literate.
literate, yes. So now the Ndebele people, they were illiterate, so they don't use documents. And then now what we see today is that literate communities, they use passports, they use ID documents, right? Identity documents, right? They use something which is a document which says which proves which
Identified.
citizenship.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, or which says, yes, which reveal your identity, or which country you come from.
Yeah.
Yes, or your personal details. Yes, but the Ndebele people, they didn't have uh, ID cards, if I can put that. They didn't have passports. So
Okay.
now what they will do is they will cut. So now they will cut the earlobes, you see, as a sign that you are part of you are a member of a society. And it was easy to find illegal immigrants because uh, your ear was not going to be cut if you're an illegal immigrant, or if you're a foreigner. So
Okay.
now you have to explain yourself. How did you get into this community? Because everybody will be seeing that your earlobe are not cut. And there's a certain way of cutting, and they are cut at a certain age, you see. So they knew that you are not a Ndebele person, you see. And they also used that again to get information from the intelligence community. So now what happened is, do you remember? I don't know whether we have spoken about this. Yes, we spoke this when we spoke about the labor people. Actually, there are people who are Ndebele, but they were not cut.
Yes.
They did not have
The
earlobes cut.
mark. Yeah.
Yeah, so that they become intelligence agents.
Yes.
And this was was a decoy, It was a way, because everybody, or should I say many neighboring countries or people from other neighboring states, they thought that you can only identify a developed person by the cutting of the earlobes, you see.
It's
But
called
there were other
Utkaza,
people.
isn't it?
Sorry?
It's called Utkaza. You got.
No, you see, Kaza is what they will put.
Oh,
It's more
okay.
like
So what's it called? That
it
cutting, that ear cutting. What?
is called ukuklekla or
Oh,
umkleklo.
okay, Cla, yes. And then
Yes,
this
yes.
you put his kaza inside the.
Yes, it's because yes. So you put something so that, because now they didn't want you see, if you cut the ear, right?
Yes.
So now sometimes it can heal.
Yes.
So now
Sometimes.
they'll put something like do you see what do you call it? Do you call it a cup? Do you see the cup of maize?
If I
In
made
in, in the way we say
a plant,
isiko, isiko.
oyster
Yes.
or the
Isiko, I think it's a maize cob, or the
yeah,
plant, or I don't know how to call it in English.
No,
So now,
put up pictures of, but I know,
yeah,
yes,
it's like the coverings of the maize
yes,
cob. You see those coverings, those green coverings. Yes,
yes,
I don't know what they call it in English. Yeah. So they will put it in the ear so that it does not heal. So that it does not heal. You see.
so that it doesn't close up when it heals. It,
Yeah, so that it
uh,
doesn't close up when it heals.
yeah.
Yeah. So that when it heals, it does not close up. Yeah, thank you for that. Yes. So they will put that, yes. So that was the other reason. And then there are also medical reasons. For example, there are people who have got scars uh, under just I
The
don't know
cheeks,
what to call this part. The cheeks, yes, yes.
like
So it's not
ribbons
it,
and all
it,
that.
it, it, is got, it has got nothing to do with beauty. It is going to do with medical purposes. Those people had are people with eye infection now. So now they will try to they'll be inserting an eye medicine. So
Yes,
now they will cut them, you see, at the cheeks or just below the eye, that
yes.
part which is below the eye. And then it will leave someone with a mark, like a tattoo or a mark. And someone will think maybe it's a style, and then someone maybe will think, oh, so Africans are doing this, let me also do it.
So,
You see?
it's called Gutaba in Ndebele.
Yes,
Um,
yes, in the
it's
we call
found
it
in different
yes.
parts of the body, right?
Yes,
But
some
the
people,
visible
yes,
ones are the ones that are under the eyes.
yes, if you do it under the eyes, it means that you are inserting um, a medicine for the eye
The eye.
because that person had an eye infection. So some people will apply it anyway, or sometimes when Africans have got Africans, they are superstitious, or I can say they believe in sorcery, right? So
Mm.
sometimes they will apply, sometimes they will apply some medicine inside the body so that that child, especially if you're a child, so that that child does not is not attacked by evil spirits. So now what they do is they will take a razor and then they will cut the body and then they will insert a certain medicine, you see, so that when it closes up, that medicine will be inside you and will be protecting you from, or maybe will be giving you a luck or will be protecting you from evil spirits. Yes, you see.
Okay.
So someone would think it's a tattoo, but it's not a tattoo. Yes, it can be a scar, but it is for medicine, for medical purposes.
So it
You
was
see.
a way
Yes.
of administering antibiotics for the eyes or whatever.
Yes,
You can put
we
it
can
in
say
this language.
or we can say it's a vaccination.
Yes.
We can because you are protecting someone before something happens. Yes,
Okay.
so it's a vaccination. So people are being scared in Africa to get vaccinated. Yes, and it's almost the same thing. Like if you look at the European style of vaccination, they vaccinate
By
by
injection.
the yes, by the injection, and then it also leaves a scar, right?
Ah, yes.
And people can tell that you are maybe a Zimbabwean or a South African or this because a certain country may inject in a certain or in a maybe on the left side or on the left hand, some
Shoulder.
on the right hand.
Yeah.
So so it also
Yes.
leaves a scar. You see,
Yes.
yes. So it's the same. So it's the same concept.
Same
You
concept.
see,
Yes. Mm.
yes. And then there is also face painting, or should I say makeup. So
It's good.
makeup, yes. So makeup in Africa is not only for beauty. Actually, beauty is a secondary reason. Makeup is for other reasons. For example, sometimes it is to chase away evil spirits. You
Mm.
see, sometimes it's done. It's like an initiation rite. Do you remember when we were speaking
Yes.
rites?
Yes.
So sometimes I think you have seen photos of people who are in initiation schools who have got white makeup, right?
Yes. White paint all over their body.
So, yeah, white paint, or sometimes in their whole body. Yes. So they've got, because those initiation schools, they are secretive. They've got different reasons why they're doing that, but it has nothing to do with beauty. And sometimes it is for the protection of. Sometimes it's the sun. Africans, they use to protect them from. You see, sometimes it is for um, protect yourself from mosquito bites. You see, so there are many reasons. See? So it doesn't mean that if you see someone with an African makeup, it's got to do with beauty.
It's like
Of course, it's beautiful.
the Himba. The painting.
Yes, remember, yes, people were in Northwest in Namibia, yes, exactly, yes. So they apply red ochre in their skin and also in their hair as a way to wipe off mosquitoes, you see, yes. And then they mix it with some fat or butter, you see,
Okay.
yes, yes. And then, okay, us, the developed people, we also use red ochre. That's the one you say it's Buddha. You see, it's called in the it's called Buddha, yes,
Yes.
red ochre. So the reason is to protect from the sun.
Okay.
Of course, of course, also for beauty, but the main reason is to protect from the sun. You see, they don't believe that it's from the sun. So I've never applied it or how effective it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It was
So
used
mainly we are not.
as makeup for wedding
Sorry?
ceremonies.
Yes, yes. Also, yes. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yes. During the wedding ceremony, they'll put it yes.
Yeah.
So at that time, it is also for beauty, and also remember, also for protection of the sun. You
Yeah,
see,
okay.
because the bride must not be must be protected from the sun. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then the second category is textile. Textile, yes. So different African communities have got different textiles, you see. And for example, you see the animal skin is very popular in Africa. It is used to make leather, you see, leather textile.
Yes.
Uh, in West Africa, sorry about that. In West Africa, they also they also used palm leaves, you see, for fabric. In Nigeria, in other places in Nigeria, they used the bark of a fig tree, of a fig tree. Yes, the bark. So they knew how to weave it and use all the each and every community its own processing of that product into a finished product or into a finished textile. In Kemet, which is ancient Egypt, so they they used palm strips to come up with linen, and then they also they also used they also had wool. They also had wool. Yes,
Okay.
and then uh, so fabrics were so popular. Fabrics were so popular in Africa, such that they, especially in West Africa, they became used as currency. You see, for example, in Congo, they used the pineapple leaf, the pineapple leaf fiber as currency. You see,
Which
see.
which kingdom is that one? The
You mean,
Congo.
sorry, sorry.
Which kingdom was that one around the Congo?
Many kingdoms like we have got the Copper Kingdom, right? You remember, but to make it easy for you, in Congo, many different, Congo has got many different um tribes and ethnic groups. So many of them, and they're using the pineapple leaf fiber as currency. See?
Okay.
And then, and such things, they are the ones which helped in the designing of the geometric and complex patterns, of African textiles. This is why you see most of these African textiles, they are so beautiful. It is because textile was a value, as I'm saying that it is used as a currency in some other areas.
Okay.
And later it became the most common textile was or fabric was cotton fabric, you see, and it was not expensive. So this also gave many people an opportunity to also use cotton as their fabric, you see.
Okay.
So there are so many fabrics in Africa, textiles, but I'll just give you a few examples. For example, we have got the Basotho heritage blanket. This is a blanket which is of national heritage in Lesotho. Lesotho, yes. I think you know it, right?
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that one.
So Lesotho is a very mountainous area, right?
Yes.
Because it is in the heart of Drakensberg Mountains. Yeah.
Yes.
If you really want to see the beauty of Drakensberg Mountains, you have to go to this. So it's very cold because it's mountainous. So the people of Lesotho, they used to wear blankets. If I can call it blankets, or others they call them cloaks or shawl, or carros. It's said so it's more of a blanket, if I can put it that way. Yes. So they're made of tent leather. You see, but now because of trading with the Europeans, so the founder of Lesotho or Basotho Nation was called King Moshoeshoe. So he started to trade with Europeans,
Yes.
and then he liked one of. So now he was given this as a present. So sometimes when European traders wanted to trade with the Africans, they would bring presents to the king. So there is this trader who he was called Mr. Howell. So he brought a gift to King, which was a well. So it was a blanket. It's called a Welsh tapestry blanket. Yes, a Welsh tapestry blanket. So King Moshoeshoe liked it, and so now he started to put it. So because a king is a role model, so many people liked that. Their king loved this kind of blanket. So even the council of chiefs, they started to buy that kind of blanket, and it influenced everybody to a point that that type of a blanket became part and parcel of their life. It became a national heritage as much as it was from Europe, which means it was from Wales.
Yes.
But it became part of them, see, up until today. And So now the 1990s, the royal family of Lesotho, they gave a company called the company is now is based in South Africa. It's called Aranda Textile Mills. They gave them those sole exclusive rights to manufacture that Basotho heritage blanket. See, I believe they also have got shares. I suspect, yeah, but I'm not sure. So this company was started by Italians. So these Italians in during World War II in Italy, they bombed their factory. So now that place where it was bombed, it was saved by the a commander who was from South, a white commander or a European commander, but from South Africa. So they said, no, you can come to South Africa and open a factory. You see, because South Africa was in desperate need of Europeans. You see, because it was during apartheid. So now they were allowing many white people to come to South Africa. Many white refugees were running away from World War II. So those Italians, they were two. It's called Giulio Rodolfo and Alberto Magni. I don't know whether I am saying them in the correct pronunciation. So they went to South Africa in 1951, and then they opened this factory, this clothing factory. And it is the one in the 1990s that was given rights by the Basotho royal family to say, you are the one who are going to do this blanket, you see. So in 2017, so there's a French fishing house called Louis Vuitton. So they incorporated the 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 patterns of this Basotho blanket. So in Sesotho, in Sesotho language, it is called Siana Marena, this blanket. So they incorporated the patterns of Siana Marena to their clothes, you see, to their designs and to their clothes that they were showcasing in in their spring. It was a spring summer collection of 2017. So and yeah, for men, and this brought it caused the uproar, because now Louis Vuitton was accused of cultural appropriation. You see,
Okay.
and it was not the first time again that they were accused of cultural appropriation. In 2012, you see, in 2012, when they were doing the spring and summer collection, they also incorporated the Maasai traditional blanket. Is called in Maasai is called the shuka. They also applied the patches of the shuka in their clothes. You see, so it's a red and a blue scotch. You see, so this blanket was also from so the Maasai got this blanket from Scottish missionaries and traders. You see, so they liked it, and then it became part and parcel of them. As much as it is a Scottish blanket, but the fact that the Maasai have incorporated it for a very long time as part and parcel of their life is now associated. It is now associated with Maasai culture. You see, so Louis Vuitton did that, the Maasai people also they were very angry. See, they accused Louis Vuitton of cultural appropriation. See, so so now what do we learn from this? That when you are applying something which is African, like African fine art, you must always know how to incorporate it, because beauty is not the only aspect, like as we have been saying. It was never meant for beauty. It was for a blanket is to cover yourself. Maybe, like as I said, in Lesotho, it is very cold. So if you see the beauty and then you want to incorporate it, you must know the context of how to do that. Otherwise, you are going to be accused of cultural appropriation. See, and then another example of a textile is the Kente textile. This one I think almost everyone knows it. It's a very famous textile. So it's being used by the Ashanti and the Ewe people of Ghana there. Yes. So so this textile was inspired, according to my finding, this textile was inspired by the complex design of the spider's web. You see, so back then it was usually for the royal people. Yes, it was usually for the royal people. But now they've now, because it was usually in silk textile, this pattern, but later now it's now in cotton and rayon. So now it's now being used by many people. Yes, it's very available. And
This the Kente cloth is more than 73,000 years old.
yes. But but in developing, you see, like
Yes.
as I'm saying, that there was a time when
Yeah,
they were using silk. Sorry.
Yes, things.
Yes.
Because the first one I think was by they're using a raffia trip fibers.
Yes. Yes. So yes, and then the Asante, yes. So there is the Ewe Kente, and then there's the Asante Kente. Yes.
Okay.
So the Asante Kente has it has got geometric shapes, yeah, which are woven in bright colors along the entire length of the strip. Yes, and then the Ewe Kente, it also the Ewe Kente, sorry, the Ewe Kente, it also operates pictorial. Yes.
Okay.
So this this style, should I say this pattern, it became more popular among African Americans in 1958. You see, so it became popular in 1958 because of a famous photo with the U.S. President Eisenhower with the Canadian First President Nkrumah. So so people laughed at that when they saw that, because now Ghana is one of the first countries. I think it's the first sub-Saharan country to be independent. Yes. So you see, so because of the fact that the president was wearing that kente, it was now associated with independence. You see, and African Americans had their own problems of independence and freedom. So it became so popular. You see, it became so popular, which is why we see people of African people in the African diaspora also wearing it. I've also seen the Maroons from Suriname also wearing it. You see, so it is because of that. But people must also know that the colors of the kente, they are symbolic. It's not just beauty. They are those are symbols. For example, black stands for spiritual energy and maturity. Blue is for peace and love. Gold is for royalty and wealth. You see, like as we say that Ghana was called the Gold Coast. White is for purity. Yes, you see. And then there's also, do you need another one? Another example?
Is it
Sorry?
from around Congo? The mud cloth.
I didn't get that.
Mud cloth.
The what?
Mud cloth.
The mud cloth.
Yes.
I don't understand what you are saying.
The mud cloth from the areas around the Congo.
Mud cloth.
Yes. You don't know the mud cloth?
Like as in MUD.
Yes.
Mud cloth. Huh? I've never come across that one. Or maybe you can give me, maybe you can give me like a picture.
Okay. I'll send you some links and some
Okay.
pictures about the mud cloth.
Okay. All right. We also have got Amahia. We call it Amahia. It's from Swaziland.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes. Have you ever seen the Swazi traditional clothing, right?
Yes, I have.
Yes. So it's Amahia. It is worn by both men and women. Yeah. Sometimes it's so now, and it also has got some motifs. So sometimes the motif can be the King Swati. Yes. But now this is what I want people to know about the Swazi cloth Amahia. So now, if you see if you see someone, like if a woman wears the end of the cloth, so sorry, if the end of the clothes are tied together over the right hand shoulder, you see, it means that it's a young lady who is unmarried. Did you get that?
Ah, look at that.
And then
Look at
yes,
because I'm from the Umzingwane area, and
yes,
that's where Queen Yamazana probably brought all those
yes,
ideas. I know we
yes,
and
yes,
yeah, that
yes.
exactly the way you are
So
saying.
yes, so if it is the hand shoulder, it means it's an unmarried woman. Then if it so now and then if the end of the cloth is tied together on the left hand, it means that it's a married woman. So it's not just like it's beauty, they're just tying it. Those are symbols. Yes.
To Mr. Arnold Maiwongenkala, thank you very much. And to you for listening, we appreciate your support. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify and iTunes and all the other places that you get your podcast from. Thank you.
Ezakithi wentaba ezikude zingumasithi